Hello and welcome one and all, this is Old School Gamer 1971 here, Millie, Lloyd, everyone, hope you're all having a great day. If you would, please like and comment. If you haven't already, please subscribe, support the channel and help it grow. Today's thoughts is on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I've been playing this game for around 3 hours, and this is what I think. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, developed by Respawn Entertainment. It was an adventure game that came to the PlayStation 4 in 2019. We can trace back this game's origins to the 1313 trailer. Oh, piece of information, for those who didn't know, that was the codename for Boba Fett, 1313. The game, however, was about bounty hunters and smugglers, gamblers in the underbelly of a crime-ridden city. It was being developed by LucasArts. It looked amazing, and when the Star Wars acquisition happened, Disney cancelled it, and man was I gutted. EA got the publishing rights for Star Wars and made some questionable decisions, loot boxes and pay to win. So when they announced that they were making a Star Wars single player game, I don't think anyone really trusted it would stay a single player. At one point, Amy Hennig was attached to the project, former Naughty Dog employee who had worked on the Uncharted series. Respawn was attached to the project, and finally we started to see all that Star Wars goodness. We lost the bounty hunters and the location, and we got Jedi and one really cool idea for a story. We took a long time getting here, but here we finally have a single player Star Wars game. Respawn Entertainment is an American video game developer established in 2010, founded by ex-Infinity Ward employees, yes, the people who created the Call of Duty franchise. They were fired by Activision for breaches of contract and insubordination. Having worked on several great games over the years, Titanfall and its sequel, Apex Legends, set in the Titanfall universe, and now Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, they were purchased in 2017 by EA. Whilst they have not developed too many titles, their quality is unquestionable, and I am hopeful that their upcoming Medal of Honor Above and Beyond makes its way to PlayStation VR. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a single-player action-adventure game set between the events of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Episode 4, A New Hope. 5 years have passed since the events of Revenge of the Sith. You play as Cal Kestis, a survivor of the Jedi cult, Order 66, who is hiding in plain sight on an Imperial planet stripping spaceships. After he uses the Force to save his friend, one of the Imperial probe droids catches it on camera, and soon after the Empire turn up, including the Inquisitor, the second sister, who has been trained by Vader himself to take out the last few remaining Jedi Knights, and threatens to execute everyone unless the Jedi reveals himself. Cal visits old familiar planets and new. He finds a new mentor, Seer Junda, and helping the rebels along the way. So is this Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, or is it board slaps? Do I even care?
Hurry up! We're close to finishing ahead of schedule. I can just about taste the credits. Gonna be a wild night tonight. Let's get this job done.
Reckless, Cal.
Good to see you.
You too. Don't get yourself killed.
That's the idea.
Whilst not the best graphics ever, it is a game that does look impressive. They've done a great job of making worlds that look straight out of the movies. It was also a rather brave decision to include worlds that we've never seen before. The maps are quite large and you unlock areas by the powers that you unlock. This all works really well, and I was pleasantly surprised to see how good this all looks. The character models do look amazing, whether it's the humanoids, aliens, stormtroopers or droids. If they had went down the recognisable characters, I would have seen it as a bit of a cop-out, but from what I've seen so far, there's just the odd cameo. The rest is all new. Again, this is great, it allows the characters to grow on you and doesn't feel like characters are only there for fan service. At the beginning I was gutted about not being able to shoot blasters. However, between the lightsaber and how good the Jedi powers look, they are a good mixed bunch and make the combat varied. Deflecting the blasters and blows looks great, and I do think that this might be the best use of Jedi powers in a game ever.
Is this all of them?
Yes, second sister.
We seek a dangerous fugitive. This is no common anarchist, but a devotee of the treasonous Jedi Order. Failure to turn over this traitor will result in a charge of...
The soundtrack is here. It is fan service and it is all great. The nostalgia is brought home here big time and really adds to the overall atmosphere. As one of the best soundtracks of all time, Star Wars, it is the little nuances in the soundtrack and in the sound that makes this so Star Wars. How many times companies get this wrong? Here it is spot on, and 5 minutes in, it was all so very good. Whilst it was nice hearing Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, it was so good. However, Star Wars was built on little known talented actors playing the main roles. Go back and look at the original Star Wars. Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill were unknowns in the US, and Harrison Ford was hardly a household name. The actors they chose here also sound great, which would be for nothing if the script was crap. Fortunately, it is great, so I am chuffed. I mentioned the nuances earlier, but they do really deserve a mention. They really do add to the atmosphere. I think it is easier to make a game look the part, but to make it sound the part, and not just the music. It's the ambient sound. It all sounds like it should. Again, if this was based on one of the movies, it'd just be impressive. It is not, and this makes it even more impressive. The sound is so good and certainly matches the graphics. Right, I will admit before the game started I would probably have preferred blasters until I played this. Its control system is so intuitive. I think this is the best that the lightsaber has ever been to use. Hitting back enemy fire and dodging all comes so easy, and knocking down the difficulty level makes it even easier. I went with the normal setting. But the icing on the cake is the force powers. These look great, are useful and are easy to use both in and out of combat. The skill tree is where you improve your force powers, and the improvements are noticeable. So on to movement. It really does have an Uncharted feel to it, especially the climbing, and you know what? I'm happy with that. This also fits the Jedi Knight really well. Early on you're not so nimble, later on it gets better. That is not to say that Cal is exactly a slouch, instead saying that the levels and the skill tree are probably the most useful that one has been for a good long while. Also, well done to the person who decided on those skills. Good job. Also worthy of a mention is the game can be challenging. A little bit like Dark Souls, so to speak. So if you die, you reappear at the last place you save, and you must revenge kill the enemy that took you out to recover your EXP earned since the last level up. This again is all good, and feel that you get more involved when you want to kick the ass of the enemy that just killed you. All comes together to make a great game, gameplay wise. Well done Respawn, and in turn EA. EA's first Battlefront game had something missing: atmosphere. The second Battlefront game was better, but nowhere near perfect, especially not with loot boxes and all of that fiasco. This is not perfect, but how it looks and sounds is bang on. More than that, it feels like a Star Wars game. Search your feelings and you will know that is true. This may be the best Star Wars game I have ever played, period. Can we have co-op in the next game? Oh, and blasters. Something that drew me into the game was the story, and in a way it answers a question I never even really thought about. So after Order 66, what would someone with Jedi powers do if they were stuck in the middle of the Empire? Apparently bury your head and hope that it passes over. So he repressed his Jedi powers. The Empire trained Inquisitors to find them out. Also, there were others who the Jedi knew of. I then started to think about those missing years. So well done for making me think about what came between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So it pulled me into the world. But one thing I do think is, it balances the new with the familiar. Planets you recognise and planets all anew. But the new planets feel like they belong in the Star Wars universe. Decent sized maps for you to explore and much for you to find in them. Using your skills and dexterity to get to those new areas and goodies. Do not get me wrong, there are other games out there with these things, but none of them are based in the Star Wars universe. So let's applaud EA. This is indeed a single player Star Wars experience. In fact, this as a game is impressive enough. Considering all the flack that EA has received in the last couple of years. Deserved, yes, definitely. But I will still not let my guard down. EA can easily put loot boxes in the game. But I will say this, if they leave this game alone and don't do something stupid, then I will place them above Activision and Bethesda. Bethesda is bottom right now. Also, thank you for a single player experience. We have been waiting for this little number for so very long. After the loss of 1313 and the Battlefront games, I thought it would be multiplayer with a handful of single player missions. Until I had the game in my hand, I still thought it would turn out to be multiplayer. Nope, single player all the way, and if my friends are anything to go by, then sales of this game have been amazing. So, let's just be honest. This is the perfect time to release a Star Wars game, just before the ending of the Star Wars saga releases on the cinema. Now, it might have been a cash-in, except that the game lives up to the hype, and certainly any fan of Star Wars would consider this almost a necessity. This is a fantastic game and is worthy of your time, and is the game that I have at least been waiting for 9 years. So Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, this most definitely is.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen.
With that list of Force sensitives, we could rebuild the
If
Jedi.
you are hearing this, you've made it all the way to the end of the video. Thank you very much for your support. Give it a thumbs up and comment if you enjoy the video. Please share as it helps the channel grow and improve. Enjoy your day one and all. Old School Gamer 1971 signing off.